Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors. So today's topic, we're talking about camp hacks slash overland hacks slash getting around the tax of the hobby, if you will.
Yeah, some overland cheat codes, if you will. So I guess it was kind of my idea, and I know we've kind of covered some of it here and there, but I kind of wanted to make something more pointed towards just this in general. I think, and I'll probably start off here because I'm gonna talk about Shane and Eyes, just to get him on here too. So we got to start. And this is my favorite one from last year, is using fire squares from like wood stoves. So you can go to any Tractor Supply, Family Farm and Home, any of those farm stores that sell wood stove supplies. And you can buy these little fire squares, and they come in packs of like 300. And you can get it for like $15, and they work great. I mean, it's way cheaper than buying those cool overland fire starters.
And they honestly start fires better and faster.
Oh, yeah. It's made out of, like, recycled dryer lint and this and that. And I have a pack of those. It lasted me all summer, and I still have, like 2 sheets left. So I'm going to buy some this year, and I should be good for another year. So that worked really well last year.
Dude, that was a great hack.
Yeah. So I figured I would just share that first and foremost before we got into some of the other ones. My second one would probably be, and we talked about this a little bit, but like if you're just starting doing the overland thing, and you kind of want to just get stuff, like your kitchenware and stuff like that, the 50-cent, 85-cent plastic Walmart plates, really super cheap and easy. I'll leave it at that. Like I said, we covered that a little bit in their last episode, but I think Alex uses them too.
You can even get the ones that are square with like little compartments on each one. That's what we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they pretty much wipe clean, like,
yep.
and you just throw them back in your drawer. I'm not saying that I haven't like dish scrubbed them, but when you're out camping, sometimes it's easier to just wipe them clean and move on.
Oh, so. I 100% have not dish scrubbed ours in like ever. We just wipe them clean and throw them in.
If I wouldn't be lying if I said I did mine yearly, but yeah, the other one's this one's kind of a weird one, so you have to bear with me a little bit. I actually heard it on another podcast, and they were talking about cold weather camping. And quick and easy ways to actually keep you warm, and it's actually have a dedicated pee bottle. Alex knows where this is going. But and I'm telling you, it's actually a kind of an ingenious, like, you have a dedicated pee bottle.
So I saw you post that on Overlanding for the Poors, and I just gotta say, the scenario that person was posting about is either made up, for one, or two, someone's chain of command is screwing them over very hard, which, like, to a level that is not normal and could get them in a lot of trouble. And three, if they're a soldier that has to sleep in their car, we have gear to stay warm in that environment.
Yeah. What?
That post.
Wait, what did I post it off of?
Someone posted on Overlanding for the Poors that they needed ways to stay warm in a truck because their brother or something is a soldier and he has to sleep in his car for so long.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that had nothing to do with what I said, as far as what to do. But I was just thinking of cheap way. You pee in the bottle and you put it near your feet, and you have warm liquid.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is like, if you're rooftop tent camping anyway, a lot of the times when it's cold or anything, you don't want to get out of your tent just to go pee anyway.
And if you get thirsty, you have a quick drink.
Yeah, if you really have to Bear Grylls it out.
Nature's
you pee in it
lemonade.
There you go. And you pee in it, you put it near your feet, and it's going to keep you warm. for that much longer. So that was one. I know it's a little unorthodox, a little out there, but for some of these guys, and this was actually, what was it? The X Overland podcast. They were talking about when they were doing when they were up near the Arctic or the top of the world in Alaska. They were talking about how their feet would get cold and how it kind of sent the rest of the body to get cold. So they had a dedicated pee bottle for that, like a Nalgene bottle. So they said it kept their toes warm, which kind of helped keep the rest of them warm. And I'm like, you know what? It's kind of weird, kind of ingenious. So, I mean, I'm not going to get out of my rooftop tent every time I have to pee either. So there's that one. Like I said, we'll get the weird out of the way.
I'm about to say, it sounds like they need better sleeping bag / sleeping pad that actually has a good R rating value.
X Overland has the best of anything you can get. This is a massive company. So if they're cold, it's probably because they just got in their tents and their feet are cold or something. They have the best of the best. So if they're even talking about their feet being cold, it's probably pretty fucking cold up there.
So I've got I don't know if mine's necessarily unorthodox, but my biggest camp hack or overland hack is look at surplus military gear. The military has spent a lot of money on R&D and engineering to build equipment meant for keeping soldiers alive in really harsh conditions. And we can take that, and you can buy a sleeping bag that rivals some of the best sleeping bags out there for like $120.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll do definitely good. I don't think they'll beat a straight up down sleeping bag. But I think they'll definitely be like the best budget system that you could get until you get up to that $600, $700, $800 zone with a down sleeping bag.
Well, they're depending on which one you get, they're warmer than a down sleeping bag. Like that.
Well, I would love to test that.
That green one.
I feel like
that green mummy
it's
bag.
hard to compare.
That green mummy bag that I slept in for our big camping weekend. That one is a down military sleeping bag.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so it's down.
Yep.
But I don't know. And this is not me going like, I don't believe you, but this is me going like, these companies are making Arctic equipment for the coldest temperatures in the world. And as many military guys as I've talked to, I don't put too much credit into some of the military equipment.
You got to be picky and choosy. I would say that the sleeping bag is an absolute banger. I mean, there's guys that have survived Antarctica in a military sleeping bag.
Yeah. Also, the bigger question, based off of Alex's story, usually they don't use all their gear like they're supposed to.
Yeah, Mark taught me how to use my sleeping bag. I didn't even know how it worked.
Yeah, well, there you go. But so that's so that's one of them there with we got from what, pee bottle to sleeping bag to plates.
Hey, bounce around
and
shoot from the cuff.
Yeah, so this one was actually one of Alex's ideas that he pointed out. But if you don't have a fridge and you're overlanding, use plastic water bottles to freeze or jugs to freeze and put them in your cooler. That way, as they thaw, you still get water, but to keep your cooler cold, and you don't have all that extra water swimming your cardboard and any of your eggs sitting around there. So if you don't have a fridge and you're trying to streamline that a little bit and your cooler so that you're not buying ice every so long, every day or so, depends, I guess, where you live, then that's definitely a good one. And obviously, it helps to have a good cooler.
Yeah, have a good cooler if you're going to do it. And if you go on Amazon, you can get reusable like freezer or sandwich bags. Fill those with water. They're kind of like a vinyl plastic instead of just straight plastic. Fill those with water and freeze them. Then you can do the same thing, but it fits flat, so you can fit it between things and kind of line your cooler with it.
Mm-hmm. The next one is something that I guess I kind of talked to them guys with, but using dehydrated or pre-cooked meals. We've kind of talked about this, getting our own dehydrator at some point. in the future and trying to do that ourselves. But in the meantime, a lot of these companies make some really good dehydrated meals.
I don't know if I can call that a budget hack, though, because those are definitely more expensive than cooking your own food.
Yeah, they're cheaper than a meal at McDonald's. So we come out of that. At least, me and Sienna are spending, $30 or so at McDonald's for 2 meals. You're only spending $11 to $13 for those, but they taste better, and they have zero lifespan on. Like, you can hold them as long as you want. That's kind of the best part of that.
But they're pricey.
But they have a longer shelf life. You don't have to use them all at once at the same time.
Yeah, I just don't know if I mean, it's a good hack. I just don't know if it's necessarily a getting around the overland tax hack.
Well, I would consider that a hack. I buy a lot of that stuff on the winters and stuff when I'm not out there. So, 1 meal or 2 at a time. And then using it takes 15 minutes to usually make the most complicated ones. And it saves me plenty of time in the morning. I don't have to worry about cleanup or anything. You eat it right out of the bag.
So,
and well, say based on what I'm seeing, it's about on par with McDonald's prices. It's $13.99 just for a pack
with 2 servings.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
so you have 2 servings at $13.99.
So it's half the cost of McDonald's.
Yeah, roughly. Depends on how you eat.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna eat the whole pack, like I will eat a whole pack if I'm really hungry, like I was telling you guys earlier. But Sienna only eats half.
Yeah, it's roughly half the calories compared to McDonald's. Like, even that is a lot less calories than McDonald's food. But
so
but technically 1 bag is giving you 2 servings. Yeah. So
yeah,
if you follow bag instructions, you're $7 a meal. If you're talking about per serving, and then you have no shelf life, basically. I mean, you're going to use it, obviously, but before then.
So my next hack kind of invalidates everything we're saying. Don't listen to influencers. Do things yourself. And find out what you need rather than just getting something because someone told you should.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I can say all day that everybody should have a Garmin in their truck, but in a real world scenario, not everyone needs a Garmin in their truck.
No. I think to put a little asterisk on that, like maybe not go for the guys that are making $300,000 a year to give you advice on your $60,000 a year weekend overlander.
Well,
get up.
I just did my taxes, and I can promise you I make less than $50,000 a year, so I might be someone to listen to.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, I guess go based off of, what you're making, and maybe comparatively to what the other guy's making, because you got people like us that are more budget-friendly, that are trying to get the biggest bang for our buck, that might be a little bit better advice for you than maybe someone who's doing it professionally as a film crew. And
usually get a lot of their stuff for free just for sponsors.
Which, hey, that would be great. But
no, sponsors,
we don't live in that world.
Sponsors are dirty. No sponsors. Then we have to be all happy and go lucky. I want to be able to tell sponsors their products suck and they should go shove it. But
yeah, if their product does suck, yes. I'm not going to be covering some random. What do we have? Some random air compressor try to reach out to us?
Oh, dude,
from Amazon.
No,
or something
it was
like that?
Air compressors, lights, and something else. And
headlight bulbs.
Yeah, they were trying to sponsor us, and I mean they were real. Apparently, I did a lot of research. I reached out to the company and made sure, but the problem was that they were going to want me to say good things about their product, and honestly, I was probably going to run it through the dirt.
Exactly.
Because
that's the thing is like if you were to get sponsors, it would have to be like, hey, that this is going to happen. Yeah. Maybe we give you a review before we agree to a sponsorship.
And
here.
If you pay attention to how I rate gear or talk about gear, even a good piece of gear, I might tell you why it sucks, even if it's good.
Yep.
Because
I think anybody reviewing should do that, by the way.
Yeah.
Just for anybody who's listening.
Because I'll straight up tell you, like, rooftop tents, they kind of suck. Are they cool as hell, and do they work for people? Yeah. But there are things that make them suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the price.
Yeah, exactly, the price.
But, and then you have two sides of the same coin. So, I love them. I think that they're a good way to go. I do hate the price too. I'll be the first one to say it, but
I just can't joke it out.
Says the guy who plans to put it on their trailer. So we'll see how that changes your life.
We'll see if I can put it on the trailer. I kind of talked myself out of that one too.
Yeah,
We'll see.
He talks himself out of a lot of stuff.
It just,
we'll see.
I look at price tags and I think, if I look at things and want to build things with a no money intention, and then I start building it, I'm like, God, this is expensive. Screw that.
Yeah, we'll see. The dark side might still get you.
I mean, you got me on
you
got me on propane fire pits, so
yeah.
I don't know. It's that dark.
That's dark. It doesn't matter.
It's literally
like you're buying
opposite.
the $2,000 one.
It's literally the opposite of dark. It literally makes light.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to get the $2,000 tent. There are $600, $800, $900 TEMU tents or Facebook Marketplace tents that you could get for cheaper.
Kevin, thank you so much. You just stepped me into my next overland hack. Chinese junk is junk, but TEMU sells some Chinese junk that isn't total junk, and it's worth buying.
It's a gamble.
I have a quick story on this real quick. I just bought a vehicle vacuum that looked like in this little Chinese girl's hands. It must have been a child. It looked like a full-size vacuum, maybe like a foot long. This thing came out like this, dude. like 6 inches long at the max. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
So remember that roll-up table I bought that ended up being like a foot off the ground? They literally had people in the description, like in the pictures, sitting around it in chairs like they were eating at it. And then it got here, I set it up, and it's a foot off the ground.
You can't trust TEMU. There are literal chat AI images or GPT images of like a camper, but like molded into 3 different things. There's like a camper on a camper inside of a truck. And they're like, hey, only $700. I'm like, what are you selling?
Yeah, then
so you got to be careful with TEMU. But
I mean, did you see the TEMU chair I just bought that I sent to the group chat?
Yeah, I did.
That thing's actually pretty decent quality. I paid $20 for it. It can support up to like 400 pounds.
Yeah, I don't. We'll see about that.
I think my favorite picture out of TEMU so far is the one with the gazebo and the guy. You can tell in the picture he's actually talking to someone, but he's looking right at the tent.
Did you
It's horrible.
Did you see a while ago when I was looking at chairs and I was sending the TEMU pictures and it was the same fat American guy?
Yeah. He got us.
But,
yeah, TEMU is good. I would also like to add, if you aren't like scrounging Marketplace already, you should be. Marketplace, you can find, if you're looking for a certain piece of gear or even just overland, off-road stuff in general, Marketplace is like second to none to one of the best places. That's where I found my winch mount. And I'll remind you, my winch mount is $800 from the manufacturer. I stole it for $100 and literally took a flap disc to it, repainted it, and the guy had pretty much all the bolts to it anyway. So, and he gave me a light bar for free. So
yeah, just so the listener knows, I definitely sit and watch Marketplace most of the recording time. Like I've been I've been browsing Marketplace this entire episode.
Oh yeah, that's like the main thing I do. I'll throw on like an overlanding show on YouTube on the TV, and then I'll browse Marketplace. My wife will be like, "Are you even watching this?" I'm like, "Yes, I am."
Did you?
I know what's going on.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it!
Darn. That's all right. We'll move to the next one real quick. and this one is going to be kind of the connected to the dehydrated or pre-cooked meals, but pre-cut your vegetables before you go out. If you're going to make like Philly cheesesteaks, pre-cut your peppers, your onions, your stuff like that. If you're going to make tacos, pre-cut the lettuce and tomatoes. And then that way when you're out there cooking, everything's pretty much already done. You just need to do the main protein, and you have that stuff ready for you on the side. Makes that a lot easier, especially for cleanup and prep too. You already got them. They're in little Ziploc bags. You can put a spoon in it.
Yep.
And you're good to go. So that's a quick little tip for cutting down some of your kitchen time if you're trying to. Makes tacos, have it for me. I'm doing it alone. So it'll turn an hour of cooking into 30 minutes of cooking. I don't have any prep time with the vegetables or anything. So, and then of course, if you're running like a cooler to where you're worried about perishables, use your most perishable stuff first usually. So like if you got stuff that's gonna only do well for a couple days, or you're worried about it going bad, you make the meals out of that first, and kind of towards the end you go to that less perishable items. So like for instance, if I have bacon or something like that, if sometimes I take things from my fridge, like an open bag of bacon or something, and I'm like, hey, I got to cook this up within a certain amount of time, I'll cook the bacon first, because you also don't have to go to the store every single time that you want to go out. You could just grab a few things from your fridge, grab a loaf of bread, and just go. So yeah, use your most perishable items first and kind of work your way out from there.
See, another good hack. See, I was going to say something opposite. I was going to say that frozen veggies are also good for keeping coolers cold.
Would they? I guess you're right. Yeah.
I mean, let's say you're having a bag of frozen veggies with every meal, so you have to have a good cooler for this, obviously. Preface this with don't 100%. Buy cheap coolers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you buy a cheap cooler, then you're going to hate coolers and want a fridge. But if you spend the money and get a good cooler, you're probably going to be all right with the cooler for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if you do, like, let's say you're having every meal, you're going to have a bag of frozen veggies. So you have let's say you're going out for 5 days. Well, you've got 5 bags of ice that doesn't, it doesn't waste space.
No.
The only downside to that is you have them slowly thawing over that time, so you do want to use them.
Yep.
That's the only downside I can see to that is, frozen veggies are going to thaw, whether you have ice in there or not,
You just should plan on eating them that week or weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Use the more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the more perishable stuff first if it's going to thaw out. Yeah.
Like I said, if you're going to
maybe there are levels to it.
I think 5 days is the max I do the frozen veggie hack. Because if a pack of veggies thaw 2 days before you use them, it's not the end of the world, as long as they stay cold. But if they thaw like a week before you use them, then it kind of becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. I have some from Shane, I guess I can plug in. These ones are kind of long, so I'm going to go through these.
Have we touched any of them yet?
No. DIY your limb risers. They can be made a lot cheaper for like $30 instead of buying them prefabbed.
I think that was an example. He's just saying reverse engineer as much as possible.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
He is, yes. I was just kind of like skimming as I was going. Let's see. Yeah. How does he say the lid on his trailer? Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just DIYing as much as general. Materials instead of $125 or $30 for a prefab set. The lid on my trailer is made out of sheets of aluminum and heavy hinges for a gate, or my cooking service mounts to the side of the trailer and makes for a good platform on the tire.
Yeah.
He's got fine companies, especially small startups that need product testers, He used to be a product tester for Nightlight, which would send me new mounting brackets or light pods to test, exchange for reviews or critiques. It's usually pretty easy to find a company that will, at minimum, sell you test products at production cost if you do reviews or testing. That's not a bad one. I've had a couple people reach out to me and see if that was something I was willing to do. Just so happened that those couple companies were like Chinese mini engine makers that wanted me to buy their mini V8 for like $1,000. I'm like, yeah,
I want them to send me a mini V8 because I want to build a little mini V8 for my desk that can be a generator. It'd be sick.
Yeah, well, it was a mini V8 about a foot by a foot.
Oh my god,
They had little videos of it. It was so cool. And I'm like, yeah, if you could send it to me for, I'll give you a product test. They're like, we're not sending it free. I'm like, I'm not spending $1,000 for something I don't know I'm not gonna get. We're not on the same page here. So I didn't end up going with that.
When I was kind of trying to get into RC stuff, I wanted to find someone who would make me a mini diesel to put in an RC car. Never found anyone.
Oh yeah.
But how cool would it be? Just a little diesel powered RC car.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. What do you got, Mark? You got anything cool?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, kind of covered most of what I would have said, like the DIY, like instead of doing a RAM mount or the whatever mount system a lot of people do for their
instead of doing a MAM, do
MAM. Thank you.
DIY panel. So in Mark's case, we used we'll fix it someday, but right now it's a piece of 2x4 that all the stuff is mounted to. That mounts it mounts above the radio in the doubled in slot. You really can't tell it's a piece of 2x4.
No.
Welcome to the wood life, Mark.
Hey, I've got a piece of wood that's reinforcing what used to be a clock hole on my dash to make a tablet mount. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, I've gotten rid of a lot of my wood. Now I just have the wood shelves. So I'm doing pretty good.
The only problem with wood is it's heavy.
Yeah.
That's it. I personally like wood. I like things made out of wood. They just tend to be heavy.
Yeah. I think it doesn't match with the look I'm trying to work with right now. Yeah. So that would be the only downside to wood. I'm not saying I want to look overlandy, but if the rest of my stuff is made out of either plastic or metal and is black or gray, the wood just stands out like a sore thumb. So
paint the wood black, and then you can't tell.
How about they paint black?
That is the plan.
If you use bed liner on the wood, then it looks like a piece of metal.
Or if I had more time, I would have. I actually have spray-on bed liner that I was going to use, but I was like, I want to get this done. I want to get this organized first, and then we'll worry about pulling that out and doing that. So that will probably be the way. Speaking of being the way, I have found that Anderson connectors are like the best hack.
That's
Alex.
That's a good one.
Alex turned me onto that. Yeah, I mean, Alex turned me onto that, and I will re-say this over for maybe someone who hasn't listened to some of our previous podcast episodes. I have a Anderson connector right under my headlight on a piece of plastic trim that we have wired from the battery.
That one's a baby Anderson connector.
It is. It's got a little flip up top to help protect it from weather. And I use that not only to jumpstart my truck, which I have done a couple times this last week, but also to connect my air compressor. So no more. I do have limb risers on my FJ, so taking my limb risers off every time I want to pop my hood's annoying. So no more doing that. All I have to do is boop, plug it in. I'm done. I'm good to go. It has been not lifesaver, but one of the best hacks for time. I don't have to pop my hood just to put some clamps on my battery anymore.
Yep.
So my air up time is that much quicker too.
So I have two sets of Anderson connectors on my truck. So for anyone who doesn't know, my battery is removed from the engine bay, and ran to my bed space or my cargo space. It currently lives in a pack-out box mounted to my bed. And I have a Anderson connector that connects to the wires that run to the truck. And then I have an Anderson connector that is meant for connecting to like a air compressor or something. It used to connect to an air compressor, but as we all know, I've been testing cheap compressors and I killed another one. So, but they're great.
Yeah,
if I need to take my battery out, it takes me all of a minute because I just pull the pack out mount, or, I pull the handle on the pack out, slide it out, unhook the Anderson connector, my battery comes out in a box.
Oh yeah, it's great. Anderson connectors are a great way to do that. I think also, if anybody ends up getting red tops, they are much smaller than your typical battery. I did not know that going into it. I could have got a bigger one.
You can get bigger red tops too.
Yeah. The red top that I got that was rated for my truck is actually, I have to kind of make a lift for the battery a little spacer, because it actually brings it down I'd say probably 2 inches. So just quick fact for anybody who's interested in red tops, they're short.
Yeah.
But it works good.
So you guys talking about air compressors and Anderson connectors. There's a little DIY project I have in the back of my head right now for a future project, but I don't want to get into details about that yet.
Oh, then why'd you bring it up?
Well,
now
you
now
can't tease it. Yeah.
Now you have to get into it. All right, what's this project?
So Alex shared it previously, and we discovered it. It's pretty much you can mount a ARB compressor into the pack out.
Oh yeah.
And I have an idea in mind for one. It's not going to be the same pack out box he's using. And my only issue is that the tolerance I got in the box is going to be a little small. So it's, like I said, it's on the back burner to see if it actually works or not. I just,
because you want to put it,
not going to happen before Leatherwood.
You want to put it in the half box, right?
Yeah, the ammo can boxes we want to consider it.
I also want to see if that works, because that would say I just put it right on top of my battery. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But
is that what I was gonna say? Aren't those like coolers or something, like small coolers?
There is a small cooler too.
Yep.
I was wondering about that.
So I
think we talked about making the small cooler a water chest. I thought when we talked previously.
We had talked about the small cooler, but the non-cooler version of the same pack out could store more water.
That's right. Yeah,
so that's probably the route I'd go. Because it fits like 3.5 gallons in about a similar size to your Dometic.
Yeah. I thought about it just for the price, getting a second Dometic tank just to switch from. Just to have back there. I have the extra space. Thought about putting one of those in there.
So if I'm doing the big project, the roll cage project in the back of mine, I will probably mount my ARB to the molly panel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to do tanks with that too, aren't you? Or no?
So I love tanks, but I've kind of given up on them just from a space saving spot. So I might do a single tank, but I think that tanks would really extend the life of a compressor because it gives it a nice big cooling zone so nothing gets hot. I don't have any science to back this up, right? Like, this is just how I feel, not a scientific proven thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
it makes sense. Yeah.
I got another tip. If you like a project like ARB compressors, but you really don't want to pay the bill, always do your research. You might find it for cheaper.
And from the same
That's
factory.
True.
I hate being the guy that recommends Chinese stuff, but I am broke as a joke. And a lot of times I don't have the money for the expensive good product up front, but I can get the cheap Chinese one and go through 2 of them before the good product is paid for, if that makes sense.
I will only say to this, one, I don't really care what country it comes out of as long as it's made to quality.
Yeah.
2, I guess, back off of what you're saying, if it takes taking it out and replacing it twice to meet the quality of one, is it worth it? Though, that'd be my question.
If the price, it depends. Like, say my winch, right? My winch isn't a hidden winch. It sits right on the top of my bumper. I'll run a cheaper winch because if my winch fails, I just pull it out and put a new one in, and probably have spent the same amount as buying one good winch that I would also replace in about the same amount of time as I replaced two.
Yeah. I think our winches, which are kind of a good topic too, I guess, the not always buying cheaper gets you worse quality.
Yeah.
There are plenty of 5-star reviews, plenty of people that have run these cheaper winches, like the Badlands.
Oh, the Badlands is not a cheaper winch.
No, Badlands is not that cheap.
Like, aren't they cheaper now?
No, not really. Yeah, they come from Harbor Freight, but that's still a $650, $700 winch.
Well, I got a good deal on mine then.
Yeah.
Whew.
No, you did.
So,
and then the Expo winches are a knockoff of the Badlands winch. And I think they're actually made in the same place. Like, they're pretty much identical, depending on which Expo you get. I've got the 10,000-pound one, and I mean, I pulled a freaking FedEx truck out of the ditch with it. Like, it's a bang solid product.
Oh yeah, I got mine for a pretty damn good deal then, because I think I picked mine up for $300.
Yeah,
and it was a 12,000-pound.
That's why I didn't tell you that you were buying something or that it was a waste of money or anything, because at the price that you paid is the same price as an Expo winch, but it was a Badlands, so it was worth it.
Yeah, and it goes back to, by the time you would buy a Warn, you're paying for what, 4 of those winches by the time that you get into the same quality, or not quality, but same poundage or same specifications as what the Warn winch.
That being said, if your winch mount requires you to take your entire bumper off to replace the winch, it might be worth just buying the better quality winch up front.
But I would, if it's definitely hard to get into, I would say, thankfully, it doesn't take crap for me to get my stuff off, so it might be a little bit better for me. But if if you got like a brand new Lexus and a hidden winch mount, it might not be worth it.
Like mine, literally, I just take the 4 bolts out and lift the winch out. There's nothing there. There's no cover. It's just sitting on the front of my truck.
Yeah, I think I have to take a total of like 8 bolts out, but that still only takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
if that.
Yeah, I think mine. I think mine's gonna be a little more tough to get to once I get that bumper on.
Mark's is not only going to be tough to get to, he's going to put a cheap winch in it. So,
yeah.
But, and then...
It's better than no winch, though, at the end of the day.
And there's things that you don't want to skimp on. A winch, I'm not saying you should necessarily skimp on a winch, but do your research. There might be one that's good for less.
100%. Do your research.
So that'd be like the Expo.
Yeah.
I know the Expos are good. I trust them. But for the most part, when it comes to recovery gear, don't buy the cheap stuff. Go out of your way to get the good, expensive, high-quality
100%.
recovery gear. If you buy an Expo winch or a Badlands winch, I highly recommend getting like a crawler off-road winch rope for it. It's less likely to break. It's less likely to break down over time. It's not going to, the cheap lines that come on the cheaper winches, when they're wrapped tight, they kind of like melt into each other. The crawler rope isn't going to do that. That's something you should pay more for. That's not something you should skimp on. Your recovery straps, like a, what do they call the Yankum ropes or whatever? Don't buy the cheapest one you can find. Go out of your way to buy the good, high-quality product.
Yeah, I think I have like mine's like the middle ground, and that was just so that I could get a kinetic rope. I think I have the Mioli ones, and that was kind of a middle ground rope.
A thing that we should preface this is Mioli sponsors Mitten State Tours, which is one of the groups that we're part of. They give us a lot of discount codes, a lot of deals. So we might run the cheaper product just because they're, helping our group out.
Yep.
Oh, shoot, I did it just because of the price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the discount code. I don't have any. I would say this too, just because we were just talking shit about sponsor, but we don't have any. We, the Botches crew, don't have any loyalty towards Meoli.
No, not even a little.
So that's the preface on it. We use the discount code to get
free gear
a cheaper, to get cheaper gear. But we have no loyalty. If it sucks, we'll tell you.
They gave us.
So far, they haven't.
They gave us a flat tow rope about a year ago, and I'll say we beat the piss out of that tow rope, and it's still going.
Oh, 100%. It is still going.
I'm not going to say they make the best product, but I will say that so far it has worked for us.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
For the price point, yeah, definitely. I think I've only used my kinetic strap once, and it got me out of my little jam. Little Ford Ranger pulled me out with it. Sad to say, but got me out of my little jam really quick, and that's the only time I've had to use it, but I'm glad I had it. So at the end of the day, I hate, and I won't say this either, like, I wouldn't say find the cheapest you can, obviously, but having something is better than nothing. Also
100%.
So doing your research 100%. Like, if I'm on Amazon, which is the second most thing that I'm scrolling around other than Marketplace, I'm checking all the 5-star reviews, and then I'm going down and checking all the 1, 2, and 3-star reviews to see, because basically 4 stars or 5 stars, they just are nitpicky. so 1, 2, and 3-star reviews are like what I'm looking for. And if I see a bunch of stuff that's saying the same thing, like rope snapped, 1 use, or this product died after 4 uses, and I'm seeing a bunch of that, it's a good sign.
I don't remember.
Do your research on cheaper products.
I don't remember who the guy was, but there was a guy who was making, like, all he was doing for a while was testing tow ropes and recovery ropes, stuff like that, to see their breaking points. I can't remember who it was.
I know who you're talking about. I thought it was something to do with, I think it's Matt McKenzie.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember.
It is. Well, it might not be yours, but I would check out Matt McKenzie if you're looking at it. He's got a Facebook where he does a lot of the testing for, like kinetic strapping and stuff like that, and why you should use it this way instead of that way, and proper recovery techniques. Seems like he's kind of knows what he's doing a little bit. So maybe just a good reference to go off of.
All right, for another hack, stickers are cheaper than paint the first time.
Yeah.
But by the time that you've redone the stickers 3 or 4 times, the paint would have been cheaper.
Stickers are cheaper, like, per sticker. And that's the only reason I would do a sticker, is I just put it on the paint like a Band-Aid, and then as more Band-Aids are acquired, you just keep adding them.
If you do it right, you can get an entire sticker pack for like $18, right? And then you just cover your entire fender with it. It's great.
As long as you're not picky.
Yeah, you just can't be picky. I'm pretty picky with my stickers.
Me too. I literally bought like 600 or 700 sticker packs and maybe put 80 total stickers on.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Man, you have leftovers.
Oh, they're gone now. This was 2 years ago.
Say, I might have to take a look. I like stickers.
It's
a weird thing, man. Me and Sienna will go to these little shops along the coast, the UP and stuff, and we're always looking at, ooh, that's a badass sticker.
You got to think about how many times I've had to redo my sticker bomb, which I need to do it again because I put a piece of vinyl over it and ruined my beautiful sticker bomb.
Yeah, I'm kind of a sticker whore, man. I go into those little Hobbie or those little shops that get all the tourists, and I'm like, what do you got? What do you got for stickers? It's like the first thing I go to.
Since I'm replacing my rear windows with gull wings, I'm really sad that I'm losing all the stickers on my back window.
Heck yeah, dude.
So now I gotta
I'm telling you though.
I gotta figure out where to get more and like replace them.
Mm-hmm. And then there's your giant vinyl one.
Oh, my Botches vinyl?
No. Well, that
Oh.
one too, but the Forest of the American flag one.
Oh, that's been gone for like 8 months.
Oh, I didn't realize you took it off then.
Yeah, no, it had like I dragged it across the tree when we were getting ready for 3rd Gen weekend last year, and it peeled half the sticker off, so I just finished it off.
How did I not realize you took that off?
Dude, it's been gone for a long time. I don't even think it was there. I don't even think it was there when we went to Missouri.
You guys are like synced up swivel chairing right now, by the way. You guys have been both like swivel chair life, man. I got to get me a new swivel chair.
I got this one for free. This is my wonderful office hack. You can find free chairs on the side of the road, and sometimes they're still good.
This is just a random one that's in the workhouse.
I almost stole a recliner off the side of the road on 120th because I was like, They just put it out too. I'm like, nah, I'm not chancing it. Too much. There's just too much cushion. That recliner you could tell was older, so I'm just like the old man farting in it for 30 years. I'm like, I don't want to.
You
smell
gotta catch
farts.
it before it rains.
A leather office chair I would grab off the side of the road. I can't say I'd take a recliner, though I have definitely taken couches.
Oh yeah, I did take this computer desk that I'm actually have my setup on from right before the school starts on I think 120th. They were getting rid of stuff from that big building. I don't know what that building is. It was like old school storage or something up there. Has a little roundabout in it. Next time you pass it, you'll see it.
So coming towards Grant from
like if I am driving towards Grant, it would be before the school on the left.
Oh, that's the bus garage.
Yeah, but it wasn't the actual garage itself. It was it looked like a kind of a house.
It's the bus garage storage right next to it.
Isn't he talking about like what to me looks like a retirement home, but it has like a giant drive-through?
Oh, yeah.
No, that is totally someone's house. It's a very expensive house. It's ugly as hell.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it though, because they put a bunch of stuff on the side of the road last year or the year before, and this computer desk is one of them. And I was like, sweet.
And then I went to
go pick it up, and I'm like,
or something.
Yeah. I went to go pick this thing up, and I was like, holy shit, it's like 100 pounds. It's mostly metal.
I built my computer desk from some plywood that I bought at Menards. And it is an 8-foot by 6-foot L. Like, it is a massive desk.
It is. You could do a couple more computers there if you wanted to.
There was a time not too long ago that I had 8 computers on this desk at one time.
Yep. But hey, see, you're getting overland tips and you're getting at-home tips for being cheap like we are.
So now, monitor stands make good TV mounts for inside of vans. If we want to talk van life.
God, I thought about doing van life a while ago.
I was helping my buddy Josh build out a van before he went back home to Indiana. It was pretty fun. We built him a pretty cool bed platform. We were working on insulating it and building his desk space when he went down there.
Man, you know what? Back to our finding shit for cheap. Facebook Marketplace is where I found my drawer slide or my fridge slide for $50 instead of $200. So for $50 more, if I could find a second slide, I would probably have a second slide so that I could have my like equipment and drawers mounted on that to pull from, by the way. That was super cheap. Might be good for anybody who's thinking about it, like having some kind of pull-out drawer system or mount system for it. Those were all over. You get to like towards the end of the year and all these people that were like, oh, this was fun camping and doing my little overland thing. That's like the best thing for marketplace is you get the subdivision overlanders, the ones that do it for like a summer, and then they're like, camping isn't my thing. I think we're gonna step up to an RV, and then you're like, you get all their shit for cheap. They got all like right now there's like there are like a bunch of like these portable battery stations for super cheap right now.
Oh,
I keep looking at them.
Another hack is to join the Overlanding for the Poor's Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's mostly shit
Definitely.
posting, but every once in a while, someone posts something pretty sick.
Well,
Yeah, where you get to see other people's builds. I mean, if you want some hacks too, this is like, I guess, an obvious one, but also go to meets. Like, go to like Rigs and Coffee,
Yeah.
meet up with other people that do the same thing you do.
mhm.
Because if you're looking for hacks, there's not that the people are hacks, but they have cheap ways of doing things. There are other like-minded people like you in your areas, more so in places other than Michigan. But like we do our Rigs and Coffee, and it's a good time to sit there, talk to people, see what they're set up as. We don't have a lot of like high dollar guys there. Couple of them.
What are you talking
Couple
about?
of the bougie ones.
There are so many high dollar guys at our Rigs and Coffee.
There's a couple of bougie ones, and then you have like us and the rest of the
You were
like
parked next to a
Lexus
fully
gang.
built out F-350 Tremor.
Oh, I was saying there's a couple. I'm not saying that, but our whole, if you put in how many people were there in our parking lot, there were a lot of Jeeps, there were Toyotas and Lexus, but if you take away the people that sponsor it, then
Dude,
there really is only a couple of the high dollar group.
There's a lot of them.
That. There's a lot more than what your eyes, Gavin.
There's a lot
got-
of them.
I don't know. I
To
don't
be honest,
think that
I
there
would
is.
say Derek has higher value items than his.
You say he does?
No,
Yes.
I wouldn't say so.
Derek
Lexus
Becker.
Derek?
Oh, Lexus
Yeah.
Derek.
I'm not saying either of. I mean, I'd say Derek Becker doesn't count because he kind of sponsors them, but
I'm
so
not
his,
talking
all his
his.
stuff has to be there. The other guy owns a freaking off-road shop, so he kind of has to have the setup. I mean, you got Zeke that's got the built-out 4Runner, but he doesn't really ever come around.
All right, I'm looking.
You have the
I'm looking through pictures. I see a
you
fully
have the Tremor.
I see a fully built out Tacoma in the very first picture. Two more fully built, or not fully built out, but brand new trail hunters. I see a row of Jeeps, all of which are pretty well built. Like there's a lot of high dollar people, dude.
I guess that's not my version of high dollar then, because like my high dollar would be the closer to $100,000 plus. That's like my high dollar. Like
A lot of these
when you're running a Tremor with a full LU cab setup, full solar, full everything.
this Tacoma,
Okay, yep.
this Tacoma built out, I bet you that's $100,000.
I guess, yeah, but that's only like 2, 3, 4 out of, like, any of the Jeeps I'm not putting in that range.
How much is the new
There
Because
are
trailers?
definitely a lot of Jeeps that go to Rigs and Coffee that are close to that range. A lot of them.
I would only put like,
How much is
I
the
don't think it would include that at all.
But how much is the new trail hunters? Go get 2 brand new trail hunters there.
Yeah. No,
Oh, I've seen those. Those are fine.
There-
But I mean,
there
like,
there are Jeeps that are built out that go to Rigs and Coffee that are well over $100,000.
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to point them out next time and count them out because I don't think that a lot of them are.
I think
I'm not.
a lot of them are $60,000 to start, and then they've got $40,000 in upgrades.
Well, if we're counting all brand new prices of vehicles from the start, I guess that's hard to argue with how much money you're spending.
But
on
there's
them.
a lot of basically
I mean?
brand new Jeeps there. There's a lot of Jeeps that are only a year or 2 years old.
I guess
Joe's
I'm more
Jeep
looking at
is.
the upgrades versus the price, the MSRP of the vehicle.
Okay, well that's a different story, but
got-
still, there's a
you
lot of
gotta-
them
Oh,
built
Jesus
out.
Christ! Like shouldn't have to switch my story every.
You gotta look at the
That
you
you're
gotta
looking at.
you gotta look at the MSRP of the vehicle if you're talking high dollar builds.
Yeah.
No. When the build comes, if I saw a '93 4Runner, but it had an LU cab pop-up tent, fully plumbed systems, double, had all the bells and whistles. That would be a high dollar unit because
you're talking about Lexus Derrick then. At that point, you're talking about all what he's put into it and his rooftop
Lexus Derrick hasn't put up nearly as much money. He doesn't have $60,000 in upgrades.
No, not upgrades, but all Victory 4x4 stuff, every inch. That's a lot of money, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not consider that. Maybe I am the one that's not looking at it right.
His
but
massive
I'm not looking,
tent, rooftop tent.
Here, he told us the price. It wasn't really that crazy.
No, but the actual price of it's
original?
like $8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't get it for that.
No. Because he got sponsored.
So, I don't know. Oh, God, by me, Ollie? Yeah.
No, by CVT.
Oh, well, that I don't know anything about. I didn't know he was actually sponsored by CVT, but he is the premier Michigan's Overland influencer, so it's only to be expected.
Well,
but I guess what I'm talking about is when I think of high dollar build, I'm not thinking of the MSRP of the vehicle, because if you go off the MSRP of any vehicle brand new, it's kind of moot to me. So I'm not really going off of that.
Well, if I'm going off MSRP, I'm talking a vehicle that's a year to 2 years old, and we have a lot of those.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, you have a lot of high-priced vehicles, but...
And a lot of those high-priced vehicles have pretty high-priced builds on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess, we have two different definitions of that. My definition of a high dollar build would be all the upgrades that you have combined. How much have they purchased out of overland tax, if you will? If I see a 250 Tremor with the full LU cab setup, he had fully plumbed water, solar, he had the ARB, he had all that. You're looking at almost the MSRP of other vehicles in that same lot. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. Is
that not
the price of upgrades getting...
The radio chatter guys, that's a high quality, or that's a high price build. I don't know if you've seen their truck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess... No, I don't think I've seen their build.
That is very much so a high dollar build. That thing is sick.
What is it?
Colorado?
Yeah.
I think it's a Colorado.
Is it a Colorado?
And it's got like...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just... No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider Lexus Derrick as a high price build guy. He doesn't have...
I don't either. But what about what about JD? That's a high dollar build.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think she's got a lot of money in that. Even Mitch McPherson out of Travers got a very similar Tacoma build. But yeah, they have the full frickin' setup on there. That's kind of what I'm looking at, is like when you start breaking down the price of
overlanders is what he's referring to.
I'm talking about the price of upgrades.
I know. But the vehicles you're talking about now I realize what you're referring to is a true overland build. Is your stereotypical overland build look.
Okay. I just want you to watch this video of the radio chatter guys rig, because it is sick. Like, that is...
Yeah, I don't consider the typical Jeeps that are sitting over there that are built for off-road.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be the first one.
Dude, a lot of that, the actual off-road building of a vehicle is more expensive than the overland part. Like
100% that is too.
A true off-road build is more expensive than the overland.
When it comes to it comes to suspension and stuff, but when I'm coming to the activity of it, I'm not thinking of what? I'm trying to look at this video at the same time now. Where are they?
Oh fuck, I sent the wrong one.
Yeah,
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, they're going down the line.
Give me a second.
No, well, like, you go out to Sand Lake. You were Sand Lake there, Gavin. Those are a lot of high dollar bills, and they're just off-road toys.
Okay, so I did.
Oh yeah. I'm not. Yeah,
I did.
I'm definitely not talking off-road toys. I'm talking built for overlanding, able to do the overlanding thing.
I did send the right one, but it's because I was looking at the thumbnail. The thumbnail for this video has their truck in it. That sucks. I wonder how long it is till we get there.
Oh, I just got there. Oh yeah, they have a fucking crazy. Yeah, they got a nice setup there.
That is a high dollar build. That thing is sick.
That's what I would consider. With they have the Alu cab,
But they've only
full drawer setup.
They've probably
solar,
including the price of the truck that they bought brand new. They're probably just scratching the $100,000 mark with that build.
Yeah, just barely. Now, if you like fully built out a Cybertruck, then yeah, that's a high dollar build right there of itself. Before
Which
you
we have those too at Rigs and Coffee. Oh, not Cybertrucks, but Rivian.
Rivians.
I haven't seen the Rivian, but the Rivians are badass.
Dude, the guy that drives the Rivian is one of the coolest people too. He's fucking cool. I should reach out to him and see if he wants to do a episode with us.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see his pros and cons. Talk about that a little bit.
He well, and not just his rig, but him and one of my friend's dads started a helping men with mental health type organization by using trails. So that'd be cool. I've kind of talked to Dr. Riolini a little bit about him coming on, but I think the guy that drives the Rivian might be a better fit for us. Dr. Riolini's a great guy, but I think the guy with the Rivian fits our vibe a little better.
Now, you want to talk high dollar bills. What was the one that we saw at Mail?
Oh,
do you have it built yet?
Yeah, oh my God. It's the one that's based off the old Land Rover.
Yeah.
It's the guy that drives it is one of the founders of Overland America.
Yeah.
Robbie Bryant. It's a oh my God. The Enos or whatever.
Oh, Enos Grenadier.
Yeah, the Grenadier. Thank you. That's a high dollar build.
Yes.
But talking to Robbie, you'd never guess that he made that kind of money. He's such a down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys, you find a lot of them that make that kind of money that are really down-to-earth.
I've got his business card right here because I'm supposed to call him to set up an interview, and I keep forgetting to do it.
Probably should reach out to him.
Yeah.
Huh?
Robbie's an awesome dude. I'm hoping that when we go down to Benji's event this fall, that Benji, listen to this episode and definitely do the Thanksgiving dinner event. We want it.
Yes.
All right. Since I know Benji listens to us like once a week or so, hopefully this is the episode he listens to.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to run into Robbie again when we go down there because he's probably my favorite person we talked to that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Other than, of course,
Benji.
Oh,
Benji was all over the place that whole weekend.
We barely.
Oh, he had lots to do.
We barely got to talk to Benji, but
yeah, I'm sure he had plenty of things.
I mean, we sat around the fire with him for a while, but
yeah.
Did you guys? I know you don't really follow a lot of the mainstream guys, but did you see Independence Overland's new Trail Hunter build?
Nope.
No.
Oh, that's you. Yeah, there you go. There you want to talk about high dollar builds. They took the whole bed off of the Trail Hunter and put the Alu cab, the whole Alu cab box on them, like the Australian Ute style.
Dude, I want to build an Australian Ute style truck. Like,
oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I was trying to get Mark to do it, but then he's like, "It's so much money," and I'm like, "God damn it, you're right."
It is, yeah. But hey, man, you could build it yourself. Do it like out of plywood. And
if I buy that truck that I keep saying I might buy, maybe we'll just do it with that. Then it could be a fast Ute style.
After all that wood, I don't know. We were just talking about how heavy wood is. We'll see.
I would not do it out of wood. It would be aluminum.
No, he wouldn't do it out of wood. I mean, we got my brother to weld up stuff.
That would be a high dollar build.
Yes.
But with a removable cartridge and a Ute style bed, and on that platform, that would be a high dollar build.
It would be.
I agree. I think by the time that you got that done and if fully built out, I would agree.
Yeah, that'd be.
I just, like I said though, I was just kind of looking at the upgrades and the cost upgrades but yes, I was looking at it from a very overland perspective, from the able to do it and how well and the cost of the price. Because I guess I don't look at the Silver Lake Jeeps or anything like that.
No.
I fully understand and agree that those are high dollar builds, the off-road running gear and everything like that. But I guess I'm looking more of like, if a guy's switched out his bed and threw an LU cab on it and then has spent, $10,000 some on small upgrades, and that was just a swish of the wrist for him, then kind of looking more at that as far as the general overlanding group thing goes. But instead of like I would never call anything I would do
high dollar.
A high dollar. Like, it doesn't matter after, I don't know, however long I do it, I would never call that a high dollar. You know what I mean?
I can't, because I don't think it almost doesn't matter what you do to a 3rd gen 4Runner. I can't consider it a high dollar build.
I don't know. BENJI's is pretty much from the bottom up brand new, and yours is getting there pretty much from the bottom up brand new. I think if you fully had yours built out, and then...
But I can't...
I mean, if we're talking overland style, yeah, you have to spend some money.
I can't consider it a high dollar build. It just... The 3rd gen isn't a high dollar build vehicle. The closest... So that one that Derek Becker had for sale, I don't know if he still does. That's the closest to a high dollar 3rd gen I've ever seen. That one with long travel icon and ADS shocks.
And that's something you can kind of do.
Supercharged.
Right?
Well, of course, you're talking about performance upgrades. He's talking more of the overland upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to package it, maybe, but like there's those. God, I forget the name of them.
Whereas
they took the
for me
old Toyota, like
a vehicle's off-road capabilities is what I look at before the overland side, because at heart I'm more of an off-roader than an overlander.
Right, and I think I'm more of an overlander than an off-roader.
Yeah,
because I would rather see the destinations. I would rather not rock crawl on the way there for the whole time.
Oh, I want both.
Like,
I want to see the destinations after I rock crawled there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's the difference to me, is I don't need rock crawling to enjoy it. That's not necessarily my cup of tea, but if there is some on the way, if there's some fun like that, some off cambers, some ruts, some river crossings, yeah, hell yeah. But I don't want it to be the basis of my trip, and that's kind of.
Have you seen the 4 Days in Hell videos?
Oh yeah,
that's
dude.
My kind of wheeling.
Yeah, that is not my kind of wheeling. It's so fun to watch. It's cool as hell, and it's, like I said, it's a lot of fun to watch. But that is not my type. I want to get to a spot. I want to find a great camp spot. I want to camp it. I also want it to be hard to get to, and not a lot of people being able to get to it.
I want to conquer things that are very hard to conquer, so that when I get to the spot, there is nobody else there, period.
Except hikers, because
the
only Yeah, because there's an actual bypass road to get through all of that just to get to the top.
Well, I don't.
That's how it's becoming nowadays.
Maybe an alpaca, a guy on alpaca, I'd be okay with seeing that. Because then I'd get to go pet the alpaca. Like, alpacas are cute.
It's just like, for me,
if you want to invade if you want to invade my campsite, bring a cute dog with you, and I'll get over it quickly.
Yeah. For me, and this is just my preference, but if you can hike faster, if you can hike up the obstacles faster than you could crawl them, then that's not for me.
Oh, that's my thing.
If I can,
that's it. That's what I want.
That's exactly like, that's just like, because the whole point is for me to get to that destination, to a destination. So if you can walk over them faster than you could crawl them, that's not my cup of tea.
Oh, that's 100%
that's not
my
the
thing.
point for me. Yeah, and that's cool. Like, I like having two sides of that coin. Where I'm more of the get to the destination, but I don't want the rock crawl it on the way there. So, like, that's pretty cool. I'm cool with that. I can accept that.
That's why, if you look at our two builds, you can see that too. Because mine is like, most of my money has gone under the frame and down on my truck, whereas most of your money is frame and up.
Well, I haven't needed to replace anything frame and below either.
I've replaced a lot of stuff. I've replaced a lot of stuff I didn't need to replace.
Yeah, it was like while you were there because you had stuff apart.
But even if I had it, that's where I would have put my money first.
Oh,
like
I haven't needed any of that yet. And even like
when I
basic maintenance, it hasn't really come to that.
When I look at how I can spend my money, 9 times out of 10, my money goes towards something performance over something campy.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing is I'm not trying to do the same thing as you, which is where that would come into play. Right. Like, I'm trying to camp more than I'm trying to
I'm just saying,
crawl.
you can look at our two builds and it's very apparent who's which side.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, the pack outs are basically a necessity, because you can get away with, like, those plastic drawers. I would destroy those on some of the obstacles I do. But you can get away with it because you're not doing the same stuff. That's where I need something like a pack out that can put up with getting beat on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can. I mean, pretty much agree with that. I mean, I'm not hitting anything. I mean, I'm not doing anything so twisty and off camber when I'm doing my own thing anyway. That my drawers are gonna go crazy.
Of course, I say that
they're pretty.
I say that, but we live in Michigan, so I do that once a year.
Once a year, yeah. And that's for me too. Is like there's nothing crazy in Michigan either. So it's like the need for it isn't there for me either.
I have to search far and wide to find the hardest trails in Michigan.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, and for me, and especially with my family, my wife does not enjoy crawling.
Mine just doesn't.
My son.
Mine just doesn't go with me if I'm doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, and my wife wants to go out.
Oh, mine too. But I just tell her, this trip isn't one for you. And then she's like, oh, okay, I don't want to go then.
Yeah. And for me, I like it doesn't matter. Like I want my wife there either. So it's like, but I'm also doing, I don't know. It's hard to explain, I guess.
She might get upset with me when we go to Leatherwood because I'm going to do harder trails, and she's going to be like, I don't want to be on our side. And I'm going to be like, get over it.
Yeah. Sienna was just kind of like, oh. When we hit that one run, she's like, hey, I could touch the ground here. And I'm like, yeah.
Like, I have...
we're in a bit of a situation here.
I have driven... Skidder Hill all the way one time, and that was in the crawler, and Kaylin would not go with us on that trip.
Yeah,
and
I can't blame her.
She won't do Skidder with me anyway, because she doesn't like that there's more ground looking at her than sky.
Right. Yeah, I don't mind doing like sand hills and stuff. I don't I've gotten over that fear a little bit with the doing the high dunes or whatever So I'm cool with that. It's just I also don't want to put my rig at any unneeded stress that's going to cause downtime. So that's like I said, and that's exactly what Alex is trying to do, is put stress on his rig to break it.
Once I learn how it breaks, that's how I make it stronger.
Exactly. And
Yes.
I don't want it to break because I want to still go camping the weekend after.
Oh, I'll still go
and have money to
camping.
do it.
I have a yard. I just camp in my yard.
Yeah, I know, but I actually want to see
You're very
places.
productive.
Have you seen how pretty my field is on a sunset? Like, it's really pretty.
It smells great.
As long as the wind is blowing to the south or the north, we're fine. It's when we get
towards the
We're
north.
good.
It's when we get a south blowing wind that you don't really want to be here anymore.
No,
No,
I'm done.
no. Well, on that note, it's been fun. We talked about some overland hacks and stuff. We even talked a little bit more about how we are two sides of a coin, maybe a little separated by the hobbies that we like, but that's
I'm
kind
heads,
of a good thing.
You're tails.
That's fine. I like tails. Yeah, I'm good with that.
And we
I'm
put a
cool with that.
magnet on your side so that it always lands on heads.
Yeah. So, welcome to the dark side. As Alex goes out camping, instead of crawling more and more, he's gonna start moving to my side.
As long
more
as
and
it
more.
doesn't interfere with my
Just
crawling.
wait.
That's why a rooftop tent might not be my thing.
Mark my words.
As long as it can
Tell
go
him,
on
I
the
just muted
trailer.
myself.
Maybe it can go on the trailer. They sure look
What?
cool.
I missed
As long as it
out.
stays a base
Must be
camp.
rooftop tents.
But all right, we'll catch you guys later.
Later.
I've been wandering blind, I'll always come back home. I'm singing, I'll always come back home. Now and forever. I feel aches in my bones. I lost track of the time, a few drinks from my soul. I've been wandering blind, I'll always come back home. I'm singing, I'll always come back home. Now and forever. Yeah, I learned home was more than just a destination, it's a feeling. Something that had so confused with focusing solely on making a living. I think the saddest thing is when you look in the mirror and the person you see is a villain. I'm blaming all the anger inside of my soul, my character slowly been switching. Like what was I missing? I knew that money would not make me whole. I was trying to live fast cause my black heart healing too slow. You know the phrase that without the rain there isn't a flower that ever would grow. But over the years collecting my tears, I think it's too much, I'm about to explode. Yeah, punch a couple tickets for the ride. Dreams always blind you to the lies. Searching for a place I couldn't find. Bloodshot eyes, what a shame. Told you all this pleasure lead to pain. Lost inside the valley of the shadow of death. Trying to find another way, I'm good. At least I keep telling myself I don't need no one for no help. Just follow this North Star till I'm home and everything's back how it felt. Back when I'd sing these rap songs till we both fell asleep on the couch. Was home and it wasn't a doubt. I'm saying I feel aches in my bones. I lost track of the time, a few drinks from my soul. I've been wandering blind, I'll always come back home. I'm singing, I'll always come back home. Now and forever. Yeah, I'll always come back, but shit just feel different, it's not quite the same. I know it's my fault, the dream I was chasing has drove me insane. Like, I've been trying to focus more on the present instead of the things in my brain. But everything's easier said than done. Well, you're not the person who's going through pain, won't change, but I try. People that I love switching sides, maybe I'm not cut up for this life. Crosses on my heart, hope to die, almost turn the pages, letting go. Sometimes true recovery is slow, I keep fighting battles from within. I think where it's leading me is home, I know, I just know. Windows down, it's almost 20 below. The cigarette is going straight to my soul. I pour up some liquor, it's making me sicker. But I got some shit that's caught inside my throat. So bottled up with me and stuck on my own. Paranoia of somebody who's broke. I'm stumbling over all the words that yeah. Deep breath sweating in my palms. I can hear the chaos when it's calm, as if every day is just a song. I knew my direction had to change, something that I never could explain. 6-string playing on repeat, only thing that's ever kept me sane. I feel aches in my bones. I lost track of the time, a few drinks from my soul. I've been wandering blind, I'll always come back home. I'm singing, I'll always come back home. Now and forever.
If you listened all the way to the end, please let us know on our Facebook group or Boost In or something. Let us know what you think about getting new music at the end of every episode, the way that I did with this one. Just, if you like the song, please boost the artist. You can go to wavlake.com. I've got a link in the show notes telling you, or a link to this song so you can boost him there. He's great. It's a great song. It really kind of moved me. So, hope you guys have a great rest of your week.